Here in Ballarat, they're outraged at the way one family is being treated by the government. Neil, Suga and their 3 daughters are free to live in the community, but he's not allowed to earn an income.
Immigration office said, yeah, you can't work and we don't want to see you working.
So with no financial support from the government, they're forced to rely on charity.
I think what's happening in Australia is cruel, and to this family it's just straight cruelty.
And the Ballarat community adore this family.
Yes.
We want them to be here. These children are Australian. They know nothing else.
Our family fled war. My parents fled it so they can protect me. And they shouldn't be punished like this. I can see their mental health deteriorating. Sorry.
Nivash and her sister Kati were just toddlers when her parents made the decision to flee Sri Lanka in 2012. They arrived in Australia on an overcrowded boat.
When we intercepted by the Australian Defence Force Navy, everyone was very happy on the boat. They thought, okay, everything is over now.
But it wasn't. The family was taken to Christmas Island, the first of multiple detention centres over the next year.
My wife gave birth in detention centre.
When they were released, the family was offered bridging visas on the condition they moved to a regional area, so they went to Ballarat.
Neighbours, they came with the chocolates and Christmas cards. That's how our integration started. Yeah.
Before long, Neil was a volunteer with the State Emergency Service.
We are volunteering for every opportunity we have. Even my English is not as good as other Australians. I am proud to lead a crew.
But only 4 months after moving to Ballarat, Neil and Suga were denied refugee status, and without a visa, they were unable to work. They appealed twice and were refused both times.
This is another way of deterring people from staying in Australia. We try and freeze them out by leaving them unlawful, without work rights, without Medicare rights, without an ability to study.
Sarah is a human rights lawyer helping refugees like Neil and 30,000 other people who arrived by boat between 2012 and 2014.
What we know is that 19,000 of those people have been afforded Australia's protection. Roughly 6,000 to 7,000 people, unfortunately, are still waiting for that assessment or have unfortunately been refused by the Department of Home Affairs.
In Ballarat, Colin and Ilse have been helping support Neil, Suga and their children for almost a decade.
We've made sure that if money's involved, it's not their problem. Neil and Suga hate not being able to work, not being able to provide for their 3 girls, not being in a position that is the same as everyone else in the community can have.
I get very angry with people who say about the refugees, oh, they were born over there, that's where they should be. My answer to that is, show me the person who chose to be born where they were born.
For the last 5 years, Maureen has been organising donations from her church to help pay the family's rent.
Well, I've been giving regularly like most other people. I'm a pensioner, but that's what you do.
Luckily for the family, charity's not in short supply in Ballarat. A group of volunteers called the Rural Australians for Refugees were among the first to organise money to cover the bills.
Didn't think 9 years down the track that they'd be still in this situation.
If you can't pay for your own medical care, you can't pay for your own children's school uniforms, it probably wears you down after a while.
Nivash only recently became aware of her family's predicament.
I wanted an after-school job and I was shocked when I discovered I couldn't work. And I'm like, I've been to school here since kinder. And Dad was like, that doesn't matter, you have to be a citizen. It really hurt.
My concern really is for the 3 girls. When they get to Year 12 and finish Year 12, they all are very clever girls. They have ambitions, but after Year 12, for them at the moment, there's no more.
We were talking about our future and our plans, and then I discovered I might not even be able to go to uni. And it's like this one big fear that I always have. I want to go to uni. I want to be a cardiac surgeon.
After 10 years, Neil doesn't know how much more the family can take. So he's decided on a 1,000-kilometre march to Sydney to protest refugee policies.
Ballarat is my home. Australia is my country. I want to live here.
Hello, Russell. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Proud of what he's doing, and you seem kind of a little scared.
2, 1, yes!
Neil hopes to arrive in Sydney on the 9th of September. His family's only hope now is ministerial intervention. But whatever the reaction from Canberra, he knows Ballarat is behind him.
The community is helping us. The feeling I have is wonderful. So without them, we are nothing.
As a child of refugee parents, I remember the help that my mum and dad were given by all sorts of people in the community. And they were welcomed here, you know, they were allowed to work, they were allowed to buy a house. And I just find it appalling that this family hasn't got any of those things.
I can't explain that feeling if I get the citizenship and if I can call that I am Australian. So, yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'll be proud of that.
I think we're all familiar, obviously, with the arguments around the policies and the political debates around refugees and Australia. But what stands out, I think, about this story in this moment is that we're crying out for workers. We're crying out for people to go to regional Australia and contribute. We're crying out for young people that want to have careers in medicine and all those other fields. So you've got to imagine that there's a way of common sense prevailing in a situation like this.
It feels so unnecessarily cruel, doesn't it, by the Australian government, but thankfully the good people of Ballarat are flying the Aussie flag.